actually. I'm John Bjerke, and I'm the area manager for the Cisco Networking Academy program in the Western U.S. What I want to do in kicking off this presentation is kind of talk about another side of Cisco that maybe you hadn't seen or considered before. The Cisco Networking Academy is an education initiative within Cisco Corporate Affairs, and it's one of our corporate and social responsibility programs as far as giving back to communities, not just here in the U.S., but globally. And so when you look at the human network plus technology networks, and combine those two forces, you can really have a measurable impact on society. And so when you kind of look at the Networking Academy in those terms of being within the education sector and giving back, it kind of shows how powerful those two forces are when you combine them. So with that said, I talked about corporate and social responsibility. Education is one aspect of that, but sort of critical human needs, access to education, economic empowerment, and thought leadership. Some of you may have heard of some of these organizations, but Cisco is involved with either human capital or investments, or in other ways with all of the organizations you see up there. Cisco Networking Academy is our largest education initiative. It's part of our social structure. We have 5 different pillars. And we have over 1 million unique students annually that we're serving. So we have donated either in the form of Cisco employee contributions or Cisco investment $80 million in 2012 to those various corporate and social responsibility pillars that you see over on the right. Society is where education lives. Since 2008, we've made over $312 billion in in-kind donations into all 5 of those areas. So the reason I share that with you is, as an educator, when you're searching for an industry partner, besides curriculum, what else does that partner bring to the table? Do they give back to the community? Do they do it in a way where they measured and included in their annual reports externally to stockholders as well as to their employees? Cisco Networking Academy is, like I had mentioned, our largest education initiative for giving back to the community, with over $450 million of in-kind donations since our inception 15 years ago. This past October was the month where we started the celebration of our 15-year anniversary, so we've been around for quite a while. I just did some of the following slides. We're in 165 countries around the world, serving 1 million students globally, unique students. I think the United Nations is in 191 countries, so it's a far-ranging program. Wide-ranging program. You were asking about the scope of the program earlier from NetApp, and so it's this kind of shows the scope in a more granular way. So we serve 1 million unique students, active students at any one time, 151,000 plus. We are always working on gender initiatives. We're always trying to find ways to get more women exposed to IT, whether it's working in IT or taking their initial ICT course just to get some kind of exposure to it. In the U.S., 14% of our students are women. Globally, it's about 21%. Let me correct myself on this number. The 151,000 is for the U.S. So out of the 1 million unique students globally, 151,000 of those are in the United States. 3,800 instructors in the U.S., across 2,200 academies. And you can kind of see the split of the students versus academies. So post-secondary, meaning the community colleges and other 4-year schools, they comprise 62% of the students because those types of institutions typically offer multiple classes and so have more students per location than a K-12 school would. And so you see a lower percentage of actual physical academies in those locations, but you see more students in those locations. Make sure I populated that one all the way. So we operate under a public-private partnership model. Government leaders, education leaders, business leaders all agree that there's a real need to get more students into STEM-related courses to keep America globally competitive. And so what Cisco does as far as the Networking Academy program is we donate our curriculum to any nonprofit institution. It could be an education institution, it could be a community-based organization, or globally it could be what's referred to as an NGO, a non-governmental organization. So we donate the curriculum, and our institution or nonprofit partners provide the classroom, the students, and the instructors. So most of you know basically what it is we do. The whole purpose of our program within that framework of giving back to the community is all about helping a student get the skills they need to go out into their own community, get a good job, and give back to the community. This kind of illustrates that in different ways, but what we're doing is we're providing computer networking skills, but we're also providing business skills and soft skills. We follow the multiple pathways model, and so in terms of multiple outcomes, we're getting students certification ready. We're also enabling students to continue with their post-secondary education career if that's what they're interested in, or we're preparing them to get an entry-level job. So in terms of the way we deliver our curriculum and some of the elements that comprise the whole program, we have innovative assessments, both summative and formative, simulation-based learning. We have a tool called Packet Tracer, which basically allows a student and instructor or teams of students to go out and configure a network virtually. It also allows instructors to create assessments within the Packet Tracer tool and have teams of students compete against one another. It also takes some of the pressure off here in the classroom lab year because students can do some of these exercises virtually online. We're also starting to use gaming in our education. I won't go into it deeply, but we have a set of, what would be the best term, white papers, or it's called Passport 21, and it's basically 4 different sets of white papers that have that test a student's entrepreneurial skills. And so there's a related game called Aspire, which allows the students from reading those white papers to be able to go out and practice what they've learned in kind of a gaming format. And so an example would be setting up an internet cafe. You know, if you're going to be a reseller, how much inventory do you have to buy? Are you going to buy it directly? Are you going to use a reseller? Are you going to use possible
SimCity type games?
And you'll see more and more of that. That's part of our strategy moving forward. And then social media. I think we're up to 360,000 students globally as part of our Facebook site. And we have a strong instructor community out there as well. So we use all those elements in our program delivery. I want to go ahead and populate this all the way. For those of you online, we're looking at our curriculum portfolio right now. Are most of you, can I see hands if you, for those of you that are already familiar with it, as far as the courses and the sequence? So. All right. We basically, if you move from left to right, from entry level to advanced technologies is kind of the way that this is illustrated. Each one of our courses, or course tracks, if you will, is aligned with an industry certification. IT Essentials maps to the A+ certification, which is actually a CompTIA exam. We have our 5th version, now 15 years within the program, rolling out this month of IT Essentials. 12 chapters, and what else would you say about the organization of the new curriculum? Anything?
Well, probably the most important thing is going to be on a new platform, which is going to allow for a lot more collaboration and Web 2.0 type of approaches for teachers as well. And it maps to the new A+, the 802 exam, 801, 802 exams that are due out there as well.
Well, and you bring up a good point too, because supporting all the curriculum right now, we have just come out with a new learning platform. It's built on the Canvas learning management system, but it also has other elements that are integrated into it. Internally, we refer to it as NetSpace, but It's very robust. It allows teachers to set up classes using kind of a virtual calendar and click the start dates, being able to leverage that calendar, for example, to send email messages to students. They can upload their own video tutorials if they want to support a class in a distance learning format. It's much different than what we had previously.
Yeah, the material can be delivered on multiple platforms too, on their phone, their tablet as well. So
it's a big change in keeping with the evolution of the program and doing the right things for the way people are learning today. As you may have heard Tracy in the keynote this morning, she used to work for our global education department at Cisco. You know, people want access to their content anywhere, anytime, on any device, whether you're a student or an instructor. And so we're trying to keep all that in mind with the way people are learning today. For CCNA, we have 2 different tracks. Each track is a sequence of 4 courses starting from top to bottom. Within the Academy program, we typically call them CCNA 1 through 4. The CCNA Discovery track is learning by doing. It's for like maybe a student, high school student, for example, that has set up and configured a home network and learns best by doing. The CCNA Exploration teaches networking via technology and protocol. I wouldn't call it more rigorous, but it's more typical of what you would find in a community college environment, for example. And it also is comprised of 4 classes. The outcome is the same, though. It prepares students through 2 different ways of delivering the content, of preparing to pass the CCNA exam. The other thing we have on here within the Discovery track that really isn't illustrated is we have an entry-level certification within the Discovery track. So after a student completes these first 2 Discovery courses, they're eligible to take what we call the CCENT exam, which is the Cisco Certified Entry-Level Networking Technician. And so it gives them a credential, it rewards them for taking the first 2 classes, and hopefully is a motivator for them to take the final exam and get their CCNA. And then finally, as you move to the right, you're looking at our more advanced technology courses. We have a CCNA security course that maps to the Cisco CCNA security exam. We have, within the instructor community, it's pretty nice right now. Even though we don't have formal courseware to address the CCNA wireless or voice, we have a nice set of voice content that was developed by post-secondary instructors in the community and accessible you know, for use in your own voice class, for example. And it's kind of a primer, I guess is the best description of what it is right now. And then finally, CCNP, Cisco Certified Networking Professional, 3 courses. It leverages the same platform, NetSpace, or the old Academy Connection, which is the name of our current portal that we're kind of moving away from. And it has lets the instructor leverage all the great things like the assessments and the grade book and everything else that we have in our courses. However, those 3 courses are actually taught using Cisco Press books instead of being hosted online like our other courses. The reason for that was an investment decision last time we overhauled our curriculum. It's a very small percentage of our overall students. It's a very, you know, a more advanced technology and a more difficult set of exams to pass. Questions before I move on? I'm going to wrap my part up here pretty shortly. Pretty straightforward. Okay. This just kind of reiterates what I was talking about, how each course or track of courses aligns with the industry certification. All of the certifications from here to the right are Cisco. Again, the A+ exam is from CompTIA. And we upgrade our courses every time the exams change or morph, and that's the reason for the rollout of our new course actually coming out this month. Just kind of an illustrated slide that as a person's academic year or academic career progresses and they add additional certifications, the salaries go up. And kind of reinforcing the notion that if you validate your skills against your peers through industry certification, you're going to make more money. Just kind of reiterating the benefits of what being part of the Academy community can do for you. We kind of talked about the online curriculum. Also, if your school does not have a relationship with Cisco, but you need to get lab gear for the classroom, we have a program where you can still get a substantial discount on gear for classroom labs. Now, it's not for your infrastructure, but you can use it for the classroom. the assessments keep getting better and better. Besides being used in final exams, they are also skills-based assessments are embedded in Packet Tracer now, so that students can compete in teams or complete assessments individually using that. I lost my train of thought. The networking, the configuration tool I was talking about earlier. The new LMS I was talking about built off Canvas, which is rolling out right now. And one of the biggest values that I don't think we always step back and think about is our online support desk for instructors. It's available 24/7. They were shut down during the New Year's and the Christmas period. This has been the first time in a while, but they're quick to respond. They respond via phone or email within 24 hours. And when you get a response and they've solved a problem, it's very detailed. So a lot of value in that is provided free of charge to all the Academy instructors. And we have a great instructor community. I guess that's how I would close is we have a summer conference every year. My support centers like Ohlone College here in the Bay Area that supports the 3 western states also have conferences, virtual conference calls with all their Academy instructors. Up in the Northwest, for example, we also have an annual gathering, a regional conference for 3 days just to get people together, take them through technical seminars, giving people a chance to network and get together face-to-face to share best practices, and have other people from industry there as well to present. So that was kind of the lead into what we wanted to talk about today. It was a long lead-in, but it kind of provides an overview of what the Networking Academy is about. But this presentation is really about, what can a program like the Cisco Networking Academy do for an education institution that's looking for an industry partner outside the classroom besides inside the classroom. Certainly there's an expectation we're going to provide updated curriculum, but what else can we do to enhance those skills, and why should somebody look at picking a partner like Cisco? So Richard, if you want to come up, I can change slides and chime in.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm really happy to be here to be able to talk about the Academy. Probably because I've got 15 years invested in this program. I've actually been a teacher, and that's what I do. I'm a public school teacher, teach at one of the local colleges right here in the Bay Area, in the East Bay. Taught IT training early days. In fact, I first taught Nobel. I was Nobel certified and got involved with them. And then began a relationship with the Cisco program 15 years ago that I have not stopped having. So it's been a great partnership. I think Ohlone got connected because of our close proximity to Cisco headquarters. We're only like a 15-minute drive from their main headquarters. So that's kind of what got me started. And I think with those 15 years, probably resulted into what has happened to Ohlone College most recently is that we've become a support and training center for the Cisco program, supporting not just our local area, but also the entire state of California, Arizona, and Nevada, academies that are in there. We have over 200 academies that are in those 3 states that can look to us for support. I'm so happy to have Karen Stanton here as well. Karen is our lead contact for the support center. So many of you that are in academies that are here in California have probably heard from her frequently and will continue to do so as well. We have a person in our community ed department, so we're running this through community education at our campus, who helps out as well, and then I'm involved too. And we have key instructors in the 3 states that help out as well. We have a website. Every member of school can log on and get resources here. This is in addition to the support you get through the Academy program itself. We had a recent webinar on the new tool. We call it Lost in NetSpace, but NetSpace is the new platform that people are transitioning over to. You have an agreement with Ohlone College. Each academy signs up. There's a small fee associated with it to keep supporting the system and making sure the support is available and sustainable. What kind of support do we provide? It's listed here. Setting up classrooms. I can spend many, many hours with a single academy. And then with others, like Bill's Academy, he's pretty self-sustaining, and I only talk to him when we come to the MPIC conference. So anyway, we're responsible for delivering this kind of support to local academies, high schools, colleges that need help as well. So we've had a couple of virtual meetings because we have this partnership with Cisco. We're able to find people at Cisco like Kimberly Jones to give presentations that are meaningful to the academies. So she did one on an introduction to NetSpace, and then Michael McKeever, one of my colleagues at Santa Rosa College, one of the early pioneers of NetSpace, also performed. These are, accessible for all Academy members. They can log on through a webinar tool. They're included in the support and will be ongoing as well. We do instructor training, so if you want to become an Academy, teach classes, you can sign up and do the required instructor training that is necessary and required by Cisco to be able to use their curriculum. Once you're trained and have access, then that curriculum is available for you at no charge to use and adapt in your classes. We provide that as well. And we do this training both face-to-face in our summer sessions and also fully remotely with live webcasts with the instructors as well. Our training schedule is posted. If you're interested in signing up and want to get trained this spring, we have a whole slew of instructor training courses that are available. They typically run in a hybrid format, so there's 5 weeks where you'll meet weekly with the instructors using a tool like CCC Confer that we're using here, by the way. Thank you very much. Summer in-person training as well. There's a fee associated with it. Cisco has been kind enough to give this curriculum away for free, but sustaining the program for 15 years is no small undertaking. They want to make it sustainable, have training, support, be part of an ecosystem that's shared. So we're attempting to do that. How did we get to this grand position where we're a support center for 3 states? I'm amazed because when I started with the Academy program 15 years ago, I took my training with CCNA version 1.0. There was no assessments, there was no real interactivity, it was reading on the web and some QuickTime movies, and just a really good idea. And from there, we developed the program at Ohlone, use it successfully. I've got a couple of different initiatives that we've done for the 15 years that have made it really, really successful. First and foremost is this is our lab, and we were able to flip our classroom a long time ago. That's a big buzzword now. We flip the classroom, and we've done that. We did that early on. With the ability to take a lot of that content online, do the reading, do the material. When we come to class, the students use that time not to listen to a talking head, but actually to do networking and to get facilitated by our instructors. So that's probably the biggest benefit of the program for us. We were able to connect with our local high schools at the community college. That's our feeder program, to get them attracted by having them get started with the Cisco Academy program early and actually teach Academy courses at the high school as well. And we were able to develop a career pathway with our local schools that has been a model for other school districts as well. The focus was on ICT to make it a seamless pathway, from middle school all the way through high school on to community colleges and beyond. To articulate courses, which became very simple to do because we were teaching the exact same thing. The IT Essentials course from the Cisco Academy at the high school is the same class we teach at the college, exactly. And then over the years, we've developed some bridging activities to connect people together. So I wanted to share some of those with you. John was kind enough to let me do that as well. So I'm a computer science person, so I like flowcharts. So I have this available for you. This is sort of the pathway, starting with middle school camp, where they begin to explore ICT and going up through high school with Cisco Academy curriculum. We have a summer bridge program that I'll talk about briefly, and then hopefully they matriculate on here to Ohlone College, come to my school, and then go on either to work or further education beyond that. So the 10th and 12th grade courses are Cisco Academy courses. John talked to you about the IT Essentials and the Discovery 1 and 2. Those are perfect courses for high school level students. Called PC Hardware and Software class, and then an Introduction to Network Engineering is what we call the Discovery courses. So we actually teach that as a one-year course at the high school as capstone. And provide articulation. So high school students can take the PC Hardware and Software, the Introduction to Network Engineering at the high school, and it articulates the courses we teach, identical courses that we teach on our campus. So they can actually come in to a college with up to 11 units of college credit already after they graduate from high school and matriculate, and don't have to repeat these courses to go on their transcripts and their credits for it. These courses also map to the new, this is just for California schools, we have new CTE standards that have just been rewritten and will be coming out next year. And the old IT pathway, that was one of the CTE 15 industry sectors, has been rewritten. It's now called ICT, Information Communication Technologies. And the two Cisco courses, the IT Essentials and the Discovery courses, map to the two of the CTE pathways for the state of California. So it's standards-based curriculum. So if you're interested in having your high schools get involved with the Academy program, they'll meet the state standards by using that curriculum. So it's an easy fit. Bridging activities, the way to connect the different ages together and how we were able to do that. Again, I've had a few years developing this, but we started with a middle school camp because we recognized early on that they have to get interested early on when they start making decisions about what they want to do. So we actually open our campus up. We have a week-long middle school camp where they do an IT Essentials type activity. They are on our campus. They get to see a college sometimes for the first time and get to participate in ICT types of activities. You can see the young student here working with Packet Tracer, that simulation that John talked about. We have a computer donation program called Strut, and I actually had a little presentation earlier on that, where we take in equipment, recycled equipment. We use it in our Cisco classes for equipment for students to work on. Our PC repair class, our school's not interested in having our students work on the college equipment, taking them apart. So we have plenty of gear that's donated. That's then repurposed, redistributed back to support the school systems as well. So that's a big part of our technology education. And Cisco plays a part of that. So here's another occasion where an industry partner has played a key role in a very important program, the technology education piece, that works with our Strut program.
Well, I think it's also important is the alignment of the IT Essentials course with students that are involved with that.
Right. The curriculum for the Strut program is the IT Essentials curriculum. That's, yeah, exactly, that's right. And that's perfectly. Probably my favorite activity, having been a high school teacher many years ago, for 6 years when I first started, is the Summer Institute. We'll have our 5th year coming up here this summer. These are Academy graduates from our local high schools who come onto campus for a 4-week-long boot camp where they finish up their preparation and get ready to take the certification exam. So they spend a year at the high school studying through the material, but prepping for a cert exam is a little different and like nothing a high school kid has ever really had to do before. So it's important. It's actually a college credit course. They get 2 units, come in for 4 weeks every day in the summer, and we prep. We go through all the material again, prep for the test, and actually take the exam in the last week. So this year's group, this is 2012, kind of disappointed they were all boys in the class this time. And typically we've had a few females in the class as well. But 13 out of 17 of the high school students, this is a college class, so there are some college students in there as well. We have to let them in. But 13 out of the 17 passed the CCNA exam, or CCNA certification on their first attempt. So, the first group, 2009, this was our first summer institute. I've identified some of the students here and what they've done since then. Eddie Shafak is working at engineering infrastructure at Splunk here in the Bay Area. Jeff Stevens is over there. He's an engineering student at Cal State East Bay, but he got hired by the school district the very next year and had a job at Castro Valley Unified School District while he was going to school part-time because of his involvement here in certification. Jane Dana is working at Barracuda Networks. She's got her dream job there. She passed, she was right here, got her CSENT certification in the Summer Institute. And, you know, these are all anecdotal. We can't go out and get this information unless they freely give it back to us. Yaya, right here, Yaya did not pass his test. Yaya was more interested in playing games and stuff that summer than really focusing on this training, but he learned, and he's been hired at Robert Half as an intern and working there as well. So last year, Joseph Elgin, he's now working at, this is about 2010, working at Viagogo here in the Silicon Valley. He's a junior IT engineer. He says, I pretty much do everything IT related. It's a small startup. He's their IT person. He was a graduate of the 2010 group as well. And Nick didn't come to Ohlone. He went directly to 4-year CSU, Cal State, to San Jose State. But here's his LinkedIn account that I found. And he's here from Ohlone College, a Cisco certified entry-level network technician, and he landed a job at San Jose State in their eCampus student assistant. So he got a nice little part-time job out on campus while he's a student there as well. So it's these kind of activities that the Cisco Academy has kind of helped us develop to connect students with our school. And someone talked about community ed or workforce development. We actually were able to use our relationship with Cisco to also develop community contract education courses with our workforce education with our WIB, our local WIB. And although there are some requirements with how to deliver the training, we could deliver them in a minimum 4-week session of courses. So we actually put together a 16-week program working with our Workforce Investment Board in Oakland in Hayward to offer the Cisco CCNA training over a 16-week period where the students, dislocated workers came in and were able to get certified and be reemployed as well. And being a Cisco Academy has attracted a lot of other vendors. So we're not only a Cisco Networking Academy. Ohlone has become Microsoft IT Academy. We've hooked up with VMware Academy. We offer courses, a single course in their DCP training. Oracle is involved, so we've partnered up with them. They let us use their curriculum for a small fee. We've recently connected with EMC and Citrix. They have academies. It's very popular, and it's very successful. And then also Linux Professional Institute is one that they're here. They were here earlier as well. So it's been a great connection for the 15 years for me. I think I've been with Cisco longer than you might have, John, right?
Yeah, you're watching that Cisco employee.
It's been a great relationship. I'm going to turn it back over to John. Unless you have any questions you'd like to ask me about our relationship, Cisco.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Richard.
I really don't have a lot more, but I think the one thing that I hope you all take away is that all ICT skills and the Cisco networking skills in particular are extremely valuable in today's economy. Certification to validate those skills versus your peers within an organization is even more valuable financially. And you know, we address all kinds of ICT skills. We start with fundamental things like IT Essentials and the A+ exam, and move to the more advanced technologies. And then, as you saw at Richard's particular school at Ohlone College, for example, There's other institutes or other academies from other Silicon Valley industry partners that are pretty popular and pretty relevant right now, given the importance of data centers, the cloud, storage, and everything else going on, and virtualizing so much of the technology today. So really, if you are interested in starting an academy, I guess for those of you that are here for that reason, besides listening to the overview and kind of the mechanics, feel free to pull Richard or Karen over in the hallway after this presentation if you're in one of the western states, or you can talk to me and I can make a recommendation for a support center in another part of the country. It is an open model, so you can go out to our public portal, and if you want to be supported by somebody in Dubai or Ireland or someplace else, you're free to pick and choose. That's one big change we've had. We overhauled our business architecture model about 2 years ago, and what we did is we came up with partners that were responsible for academy support and separated those out from the partners who were responsible for new instructor training and instructor support. In the case of Ohlone College, though, because of the depth and breadth of their instructor and faculty experience, they assume both kinds of partner roles because they've been doing it for an awfully long time. So I guess with that said, are there any questions, anything that I can answer?
I've got what maybe to ask a question. I don't really know how well this works in the community college system. I remember asking some people some questions. And one of the things I consistently hear is it costs a lot of money. I'm just curious, how does that work from a budget standpoint? I mean, how do you go about making sure you can fund the Cisco Academy program?
Well, that's a good question. It's been more and more difficult. Being able to flip the classroom and to take a lot of that instruction offline has helped, so we still can collect some apportionment without having to pay for faculty. So that's been helpful. Yeah, I would say that's a difficult question.
Well, it also
tight times now.
And I think, are you with community college or okay? So is the question about just the hard startup cost, financial investment to get it rolling, or
that plus as an ongoing thing? I mean, it's getting more expensive to offer courses. And my understanding is that colleges are looking at options. One of the biggest concerns about Cisco Academy is the price. So they're looking at other options. So I should know what's the best way to recommend.
Well, once your academy is up and running, once you have the gear, I think maybe it's getting the labs set up and the gear and things like that, and getting instructors trained. I think that's where you're going to find the biggest part of the cost. But once that's startup cost, yeah. But once you've got that put together, I don't see where there's a lot of cost. I mean, you're paying for your instructors, of course, your faculty, and that sort of thing.
How does Perkins dollars factor into the community college environment? So, for example, if you have Perkins funding available at the community college level in your state for your school, and you plan early enough, I mean, those dollars can be used things like new instructor training. I think could even be able to offset the cost of lab gear that's used for instruction in the classroom. The other thing Cisco does to kind of help out, and it's not always visible to folks that are new to the program, is we do regression testing on a lot of the legacy gear that we used to use in the program for the routers and switches. And you can use older gear, and however you want to procure that, whether it's eBay or whether it's a donation from another department at your college that is moving on to newer equipment. I mean, there's ways to sidestep the need to have brand new gear, for example.
At our support center, we have a lot of ideas on how to do that. And the cost of gear is one thing that hurt Cisco program 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Well, just about any lab or anything whether it could be auto repair, but I'm just hearing that all courses that involve investment like that, especially hard-hitting.
Yeah, but the need for those kinds of courses are so self-evident. I mean, just from our keynote this morning about, the job opportunities in ICT and the skills needed.
I know that.
Yeah, I know. But
It's still, yeah.
well, but there's ways to do it. We, as a sports center, we can help with inexpensive ways to do the labs and ways to cut costs too. Absolutely.
And what state were you in? You were from Chicago?
California.
Okay, California. Which college?
I do it all of them.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm at Merced. I made my initial investment 10 or 11 years ago, and I upgraded the equipment, some of it, piecemeal at a time, but I teach with, I don't want to say I use 2500s anymore. I use them for demo more than anything, but the 2600s will do 80–90% of most of the labs. And the packet tracer program is wonderful as far as allowing the students to complete their command line interface and duty stuff. This year, not that I'm going to get it, but